Shalom, shalom. Hope everybody's on toe. I was doing a little bit of writing. I just thought I'd share because this is a bit of an interesting concept. I'm having this little, which it ain't much, but I just catch myself doing it sometimes when I'm kind of writing and transcribing these things, trying to fit it back into the narrative when the words itself don't want to coincide with what the English narrative is saying. So I'm really consciously just trying to break out of that. Anytime I recognize it, just let it be what it is. Anyway, this is Genesis chapter 3, verse 9. I finished a while back, about a few weeks ago. I just picked up verse 10 again. And one thing to know, this is when Yahuwah was calling out to Adam in the garden. And this word right here, this is the word for when he supposedly says, "Where are you?" You have the Aleph, the Yud, the Kaf, and the Hey. Interestingly enough, this mixture of words is not the the modern Hebraic equivalent of a participle question. It's not. There's no question emphasis in this word at all. And so you have source, receive, extension, image, or reflection. So source, the root of it will be source, receive, extension. And this is not, there's no investigative quality in that. And usually with Hebrew words, you have the ma, which is, the emphasis for a question. And anyway, going down to verse 10, starts out with, and he said, or and she said, you have, where am I at? There we go. You have kwalak, your voice, shamati. And this is interesting as well because you break this down. You have two very interesting words. You have shem, which we know is renowned, and then you have the eat or the at, depending on how you read it, meaning time. And then you have the suffix being my for the yud. And so it's outside of the whole thing is just trying to unwrap my mind around the English narrative of it. It's kind of alluding to some kind of renowned time in the garden. And this is where it supposedly says, I was afraid. Aleph, Yud, Resh, Aleph. And the Aleph as a prefix meaning I, like the subject of the statement. The Yar means, the Yar is reverence, like reverencing, praising something, worshiping something. And then you have the source. So I reverence, your voice I heard, quote unquote, your voice I heard, also your voice, renowned time in the garden. I reverence source for this next word, ayaram, which means was naked, is what the English says. Focus, received, high manifestation or high energy. So I reverence your source. I reverence source because I was focused, because I was highly focused. And yeah, Anaki is pretty much I. This is where it gets interesting enough because you have Akba, Uakba, and Akba. Akba is two words of themselves as well. Ak meaning brother, as we all know. Source fellowship when you break it down. Ba meaning come, house, source, or it could be in-house as well. But this is what they say. They say this means hid. Which, I mean, when I think about it, it can allude to coming in because you have the house symbol. But the rest of this doesn't imply fear outside of this whole afraid thing. Which, in the midst of afraid, you have reverence and source. I get what they say fear is because the race in the left, they say that means fear. But then again, you go to Proverbs and it's like, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. So fear is not fear like, somebody shook. According to Proverbs, fear is reverence, I would say. But a whole nother can of worms. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. It's a fun little Rubik's Cube to play along with. Shalom.